14 hours. 45 hours. One dev claims 5 straight days, all from a single slash command. And it just shipped. So what is it? It's called /goal. One slash command that turns Claude Code from a thing you steer into a thing that steers itself. You give it a finish line. It runs until it gets there. Now, Claude Code's always been positioned as this terminal native coding agent. But honestly, until /goal, you were still babysitting every turn. That's over. Here's the thing. This pattern isn't new. People have been hand-rolling it for months. The community calls it the Ralph loop. Set a goal, run the model, check if you're done, loop if not. But now it's official, baked right into the harness. So every time Claude finishes a turn, a separate, smaller model kicks in. Haiku. It reads 3 things: your goal condition, what Claude just did, and the results. Then it returns a simple yes or no. If no, the reason gets fed back into Claude's next turn as context. If yes, you're done. And the cost? Haiku evaluator tokens barely register. They bill at Haiku rates, the cheapest model in the lineup. The real spend is the main turns doing the actual work. The evaluator? Negligible. But here's the catch, and this matters. Your condition is being read by a different model than the one doing the work. A smaller one. So if you write something that needs deep reasoning to evaluate, Haiku might get it wrong. Declare done too early. Or never declare done at all. Either way, bad. So let's actually use it. 5 minutes. Real terminal. Not the VS Code extension. That doesn't support /goal yet. You open a shell, type Claude, then /goal, followed by your condition. Here's a minimal example. You say, build a Chrome extension that adds Slack-style emoji shortcuts. Definition of done: the extension loads with no manifest errors. Typing :smile: pastes the emoji, and it works in incognito. Stop after 30 turns regardless. That last part? Critical. Always add a turn cap. Now Claude reads that condition, plans the work, writes the manifest, adds the content script, wires up the listener. Then Haiku checks. Manifest is valid, but content script doesn't fire on inputs of type email. Okay, that reason feeds right into the next turn. And the loop continues. But for longer, more structured runs, write a plan file first. Ask Claude to draft it. You get a markdown doc with a brief, tech stack, constraints, definition of done, acceptance criteria, even a verification recipe, exact commands to prove the criteria hold. Then you just say /goal, execute the plan in plan.md. Way more reliable than a one-liner. Now, writing good conditions. This is where most people mess up. The cardinal rule is dead simple. Anchor on things Haiku can verify with a quick glance at the conversation. Don't say, make the code production ready. That's vibes. Haiku can't evaluate vibes. Say, npm test exits 0, and there are no to-do or fix tokens in the diff. Don't say, improve performance. Say, benchmark/run.sh reports P95 latency under 200 milliseconds. See the pattern? Verifiable, observable, done. Same thing with refactors. Refactor cleanly, useless. All 12 files in src/auth use the new auth client import, and the old legacy auth symbol has 0 usages. That Haiku can check in one read. Verifiable end state, observable signal, hard stop. Every time. So Codex actually shipped /goal first, about 2 weeks before Anthropic, which is great for users. Same primitive, both harnesses. But how do they compare on a real build? The prompt was wild. Build a single-file Settlers of Catan-clone, Game of Thrones themed, 32-bit pixel art, the 4-player houses reskinned as AI labs. Anthropic, Google, OpenAI, and X. Single player versus 3 AI bots. Same prompt to both. Claude Code on Opus 4.7. Done in 13 minutes. Working dice rolls, settlement placement, AI turns. Functional. Codex on GPT 5.5. 33 minutes. But it generated real sprites with GPT Image 2. Actual visual assets. The trade-off, Codex's UX was clunkier. No dice indicator. No disabled state on buttons you can't afford. So the takeaway? Codex wins on visual polish because it has image generation built in. Claude Code wins on functional logic in less than half the time. If your project needs real sprites or generated UI, plan to call out to an external image API. Anthropic doesn't ship one. That's a real gap for game and design work. Now here's a strategy most people miss. Your weekly token budget? It doesn't roll over. If you finish a week with 92% of your tokens unspent, poof, gone. And the max plans ship way more tokens than most devs actually use in a normal week. So what do? Front-load token-heavy work into a single autonomous run on Sunday night before the Monday reset. Batch your newsletter drafts. Backfill regression tests. Sweep documentation. Migrate refactors. One developer pointed /goal at 4 YouTube videos and got 4 newsletter drafts in 8 minutes. And here's the pro move. Add a token budget clause right in your condition. Stop when 95% of weekly tokens have been spent, or when the task list is empty. Haiku reads the most recent usage output and decides. Clean. No overshoot. Which plan for this? The Claude Max 20 AGS tier, $200 a month. It ships the highest weekly limits, and it's the one most developers settle on when they want to run /goal overnight on top of their normal coding work. But look, this isn't magic. There are real limitations, and you need to know them before you kick off a multi-hour run and walk away. First, terminal only. The VS Code extension doesn't expose /goal yet. You need a real shell. Your IDE's built-in terminal works fine. Just launch the Claude CLI from there. It also runs non-interactively via Claude-P with the goal condition embedded. Second, and I can't stress this enough, vague conditions break things. If Haiku declares done too early, you stop with broken code. If Haiku never declares done, you burn turns until your cap, or worse, until your weekly limit. Anchor on exit codes, file contents, test results, not feelings. And one more thing people confuse. Auto mode and goal aren't the same. Auto mode auto-approves tool calls within a single turn. Goal decides whether to start another turn entirely. You want truly hands-off sessions? Pair them both, but only after you trust your condition. Those 5-day runs? Unverified. 14-hour overnight sessions are common and real. Multi-day runs? The failure modes are real too. Looping evaluators. Stalled tool calls, runaway token spend. Add hard caps, even when you want a long run, especially when you want a long run. So if you're serious about this, If you're running multi-hour autonomous sessions regularly, the weekly token limit is your real constraint. The Max plan exists for exactly this reason. Pick the tier that matches how hard you push goal. And if you're using /goal to batch write articles, newsletters, marketing copy, run the output through Undetector before publishing. $39 lifetime. The text comes out indistinguishable from human writing. At /goal volume, that matters. By the way, if you want pre-built skills and configurations that are already optimized for this kind of autonomous workflow, the Claude Code Power User Kit has everything dialed in. Links in the description. So that's /goal, the official autonomous loop for Claude Code. Right conditions Haiku can check in one glance. Add hard caps. Pair with auto mode for hands-off runs. And use those Sunday nights to drain every last token before they vanish on Monday.